So I went through and put everything I can teach on the fucking board. And I tried to break it into some categories. Because you're sitting here going, well, what is the program about? And we're trying to decide, is it one of these squares, or is it everything, or is each one of the squares a different course? Okay, so first off, people would listen to me because it's not my first fucking rodeo, right? I've been to heaven, I've been to hell, I've tried thousands of times, I've failed thousands of times, I succeeded, I failed. I probably failed more often than I've succeeded. I've had really fucking shitty luck getting all set up on the table for '08 and again before COVID, right? So everything hasn't been perfect for me. So life experience is one reason why people might come to be mentored by me, right? So you're coming to me to be a student because you want to accelerate your path in real estate, either in buying your own investment properties, value adding, learning how to get cash flow forever, or you want to learn how to wholesale, right? Those would be why you clicked on this on the internet.
Right.
Okay. So you're coming to me for some type of mentorship, coaching, either looking at our programs, having access to our videos is the entry-level way to start learning what we do, and then you can level up by getting additional mentoring and coaching programs that we offer.
Yes, sir.
Correct? I participate a lot in goal setting and motivation of if you're going to be in this program and you want to do anything more than simply watch the videos, I'd like it, and I want it to be very interactive, that you have commitments on your part, you have check marks, you have things you have to do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis in order for us to help you in the program.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Right? Does that make sense? And you're coming to me because you are thinking and you're hoping that by me having done it tens of thousands of times, both successfully and unsuccessfully, that I can quickly coach you and show you how to do it correctly and as fast as possible without making those mistakes.
Yep.
That is why anybody pays for a mentor or coach. Correct? Okay. So that is kind of the general motivation, life experience, why you would want to be part of what we do. Okay? Then we will jump into real estate, which that is our primary core business, is finding off-market properties, finding them for ourselves, for our partners, or for making them available for everybody in our network to purchase on their own to get into their first property or their first rental property. Okay? So we go through, first section would be off-market acquisitions, what to target in your neighborhood, what do you know already, have to spend some time together so I know your baseline of understanding of real estate. Have you done anything? Have you bought any properties before? Have you remodeled anything? And then figuring out where to get you started in your local area to see if there is a area that supply and demand is not in balance. Because if you're going to get into wholesaling, it only works if supply does not meet demand. It does no good for me to put you in a boat, have you start fishing your neighborhood if there are 100 houses for sale that aren't selling.
Right.
So first we have to pick a property type and product that is in short supply. For the most part, across the nation, there's still a shortage of housing, even though we're going through a different correction period. But there's always going to be a shortage of apartment buildings. So generally, if you go find smaller apartment buildings, there's a high volume of buyers for those type of properties. Okay? So we teach you how to do off-market acquisitions. Then the next step, once you get through the off-market acquisition and teaching you how to acquire properties is are you sourcing properties for us and hopefully you and I buy them together, or we buy them ourselves, or are we going to hold them up and see if you want to wholesale? And those are two different skill sets. First, I got to teach you how to talk to owners, how to find properties, and to eventually get them in a contract so that you have a right to purchase the property. Okay? Now, you could be just a lead generator when you're starting out and say, I talked to Mr. Elmer Smith on 123 Main Street. I didn't quite understand what he was asking, but I think if you call him, you might be able to get him to the next step. And that's where you're working as a setup person, learning the language, learning the lingo. You're out knocking on the doors to say, would you be interested in perhaps looking for a proposal from us? So that's kind of an early step we go through in off-market acquisitions. Once you get a property in contract, if we teach you wholesaling, you've got to hold it up to the world. So people just gonna magically show up the next day and give you a check?
Wish.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on what you have, the contract, the terms, where it is, what it is. So that's what we teach you in wholesaling, okay? The next step in your growth, which we would like anybody involved in this program, hopefully, is to get them into their first rental property or their first house if they haven't purchased a piece of real estate before. So that would be the next step through the hierarchy, and we can type this all up pretty and put it into our channel and go through it page by page. And the next step would be, hey, somehow I want you to own some piece of real estate. In fact, I'd like you to be my partner, so when you call, you're saying, hi, I'm Will. I'm calling from Hunter Rental Investments. We're interested in your fourplex on Main Street. I noticed you've owned it for 42 years. What's going on with your portfolio? So notice how you just said I'm a partner. Okay, I'd like to partner with you on buying investment properties in your area. See the difference?
Oh, yeah.
You suddenly went from just a cold caller to now you're a principal partner.
Yeah.
Okay? So we'd like you to be a principal partner in helping us improve the portfolio and build in that area. Okay? Once we get into that, then we subset to what is actively in short supply in your community or where we think we can add value long term. And that can break down into somewhere between 8 and 20 different property types in different courses that we can teach you on each of the individual nuances of each real estate. So buying a single family rental house is much different than buying an 80 unit apartment building. And a mixed use strip mall with a 7-Eleven and a, Piggly Wiggly and all that, that's a completely different thing. Okay, so that's where specialists come into. You see a lot of people in the last 5 years have gotten into Airbnbs, short-term rentals. That's a subset. So there's probably 8 to 15 subsets we can teach you if you have a particular interest. You might say, I want to be a storage guy. Great. Let's start targeting and teaching you everything about a storage facility. The language, the cap rates, the cost per square foot, the operating expenses, the security expenses, the deferred maintenance, the issues with them. We can teach you every single category in real estate. We can teach you what to focus on and what to learn. But it takes time, okay? So once you get this amazing property, next level is, okay, I got this property, Jim. Owner wants $1 million, wants 100,000 down. It's an 8-plex, here are the rents, here's the cash flow. We teach you how to analyze all the investment properties, cap rates, operating expenses, everything related to analyzing investment property. But the next step is, what do you need? What do you need to buy a property?
Money.
Money. Okay? So you're probably in this course because you want to make money, not because you're a retired Amazon guy, which that's fine. If you are a retired Amazon guy, then this category is probably easy for you. But then you will find that even rich people don't use their own money, so they will borrow the money. Okay, so at some point you've got to source funds, right? You got to figure out how to find private capital, how to get conventional capital, how to form your LLCs and your partnership entities. Are you going to have an LLC in each state, or are you going to have a parent LLC? Are you going to have a partnership with us, or are you going to bring in other partners? You go all through this and you go up the hierarchy of how you raise capital based on a smaller project to a larger project. 300 unit apartment building is probably a syndication or a REIT purchase, and it goes all the way from 100K down or 5K down to 50 million down. Everything in between, right? And in each of those categories, there could be dozens of chapters on here's the information, here's what we do, here's your next step, okay? And now this board starts getting interactive because you can't just do one little piece and jump around. You got to learn everything as you go. So as we buy our first property together, we're going to be evaluating it, we're going to get it in contract, we're going to figure out how to get the money, we're going to assess what it's doing right now and what we can do with it. We're going to put the money together to do it. Either we put up the money, you put up the money, or we find another partner, okay? And at some point, we've got to go through the sequence of what are we going to do to the property. So most things we're looking for are not turnkey. So we don't want to go out and shop for, which we teach you in off-market acquisitions, what to focus on. You need to be focusing on what we tell you to focus on. You want to go off and do the crazy shit, that's fine, but you got to learn the fundamentals first. Okay? So we got to evaluate the property. It's an eightplex. What are the current rents? What can we do with it? What does it need? We go through the whole evaluation process of how is it currently performing and can we improve that asset by at least 50%. If we can't improve the operating income or the value by 50%, it may not work for us. Then it would circle back to, may not work for us, well, but I bet you could get somebody that would buy that building. And then we hold it up. See how it's not one or the other? Some people are just wholesalers, some people are just buyers. We have a program that allows you to do both. Okay? So we're gonna get into construction bidding. How do you get bids? How do you get estimates? How do you go through a total project scope of repair? How do you put together a prospectus or pro forma for the whole project, whether you're buying it in-house yourself or whether we're bringing you in or someone else in as a partner? Okay? Go through renovation and repairs. Okay, so how are you going to buy it? You going to empty it out? Are you going to do it staggered? What's your schedule for fixing up the building? Is it 6 months or is it 6 years? And it depends on the size and the project. Okay. We also then can teach ground-up construction, permitting, contractor management, everything related to what you're going to do to manage that project. So if you're in Boise, Idaho, and you're my partner, I'm going to tell you, you got to go find this guy. You got to go find this contractor. You got to find this. I need you to get 3 bids for this. I need 3 bids for the roof. I need pictures. I need concise bids. I need that all compiled for me. And I'm going to teach you how to do that because you wanted to learn how to buy and renovate your own properties, right? So you go through everything related to buying, renovating, improving a property. At some point, after all that hard work, and whether it took 6 months or 24 months, we have completely renovated that 12 unit or that 10 unit. We doubled the income by increasing the rents. Maybe we added a unit. And so at that point, we got to decide, what are we doing with it? We're going to keep it forever? We're going to refinance it and pull some money out? Or are we going to sell it and 1031 into something else? So then the next level would be understanding how you lease a property, how you manage it, how you get contractors to work on it, how do you get service people to come fix the dishwasher, how you do all that stuff, how you screen your tenants. Do you manage it yourself or do you pay 5 to 10% for a property management and leasing company to do it? Pretty complex to go through all this stuff, right? So at some point you got to decide, am I going to build a portfolio or am I one and done? Meaning I'm going to buy something, fix it up and sell it. We will do both, but we generally are trying to build a portfolio for 20, 30, 40 years. So portfolio building is a different strategy than just buying, fixing, and flipping a house. Plus, there's a lot of tax advantages, which we will get into, of why, everything's related on taxes. All strategies revolve around deferring or not having to pay capital gains tax. Okay? So what we'd like to offer is a private club, a private real estate club, that if you're accepted, you are in this club for us training you to do everything on this board. Okay, if you're local, we have a clubhouse, you're welcome here. If you're a member, you can Zoom in anytime, you can watch live training, you can watch my screens all day long as I'm talking to other real estate deal makers. You can listen, you can learn, and then I'll work with you one-on-one. Sound exciting?
This is powerful, man.
Okay. So your next step would be to get on and talk with Chris in detail. He's going to go through, work through your experience, see your qualifications, and see if you'd like to apply to be a partner with me.
Yes, sir.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Look forward to meeting you.